Hi, this is Mikko Kempe here again from relationship-journal.com, and my second reader question comes from Amuthan. And he's a guy and he goes straight to the point and he says, "Hi Mikko, I want to learn about how to make my wife happy. How can I do that?" Now that's a great question, and for the women readers out there, this also validates my personal belief, which is ultimately deeply what we men want is simply to make our wives or girlfriends or whoever we're with happy. Now obviously that sounds very simple and it can get much more complicated than that when you're trying to actually accomplish that, and when you get into a relationship and sometimes you think, why in the world are guys doing what they're doing? But getting back to the question, so how can you make your wife happy, Amuten? And here's my if I would just have to say one thing about how to make your partner happy, and this is this. From a guy's perspective, the number one thing you can do is to sincerely try to understand her point of view when you get frustrated or when you get angry or when you feel like there is some problems or challenges in the relationship. That's the number one thing that I can give you, which is to make your wife happy, because ultimately she's really fully responsible of making herself happy. You're not responsible for making your wife happy. Now, having said that, when you come into a relationship, obviously you want to do the best you can to make her happy. But one of the keys also in understanding her and making her happy is to realize that sometimes you can't make her happy. You also have to let go the attachment of your happiness depending on her happiness. Sometimes you have to let her be angry, let her be frustrated, and let her be unhappy, and yet still be there to support her, and yet still be there to love her and do the best you can to your own personal limits to try to be there for her. Obviously sometimes you can't either be there for her, and so that's when you have to make compromises and everything else. But that's another key thing, because if you can let go the attachment of having her happy all the time, or your happiness depending on her happiness, then you can truly just simply trying to understand sincerely her point of view. Because I know the mistakes I've made in my own personal relationship. I've read all kind of relationship books, dating books, and I came to an arrogant point in my own relationship. I thought I knew, I knew her point of view. I thought I could understand her fully, and it came from a point of arrogance. Even if after I had read all kind of dating and relationship book, and I sabotaged some of my own relationship, thinking that I knew everything there was to know about relationship, and I thought I knew her point of view, and what that made was I didn't sincerely try to understand her point of view anymore. So that's, in my opinion, the number one thing you can do to contribute to her happiness is to simply, when you get frustrated, when there's challenges in your relationship, stop and calm down and go back to trying to sincerely listen to her and understand her point of view. But ultimately remember that her happiness is her responsibility. All you can do is your best to try to make her happy and to be there the best you can. So with that said, good luck, and maybe you come back and leave me some comments or ask me another question. Best of luck to you.